Long time coming, that.
Alright guys, welcome to the last game of the day guys. My name is Peshna. I'm still joined by Papa Smithy here, and it is the third place playoff. We've had a little bit of moving around in the brackets. People had to go to things, Father's Days had to happen, and Fathers had to be seen.
And I think all things being considered, Father's Day, we still got to get a pretty good tournament going.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the tournament with less teams in it. This is the tamed version.
Next week,
of
the week to
Go4LoL.
be there, is that where all the viewers who are watching this for the first time be like, maybe I should have signed up? I reckon next week. Next week's where it's all going to go down.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, feel free to check it out. So feel free to check, next week out. And speaking of next week, there's going to be even more tournaments lined up. But we'll talk about them a little bit after, once this game is over.
Sure.
We have a third place to sort out, and it does matter as well. The third place gets more points than fourth towards the monthly finals that happen in Go4LoL every single week. So it does matter what place you play. There's something on the line here for third, and it's nice to be bringing it to you after we couldn't, as we said, couldn't quite have the grand finals we wanted. The teams are not those two up there. I forgot to change them again. Apologies, everybody. The teams are going to be Sequential, who are currently on your left, up against MiS Consulting, the team there on your right.
So having a look at the bans here, still teams that don't want to deal with Diana. I had a chat with a few pro players just to work out what they thought about Diana after the nerfs, and they said she's still very, very strong. So that's all I needed to know.
I think I'd have to agree. And is there a reason I can't see players? I guess not.
Everything seems to be
Oh,
working
they're
fine.
drafting. My bad. I thought they were picking already. I was like, I can't see anything. This is crazy. Don't worry, guys. It's been a long afternoon. I apologize. I'm a little bit mad. And you probably need food, but that's okay. I'll bring you the.
And there was a question in the Reddit thread about the IAM Guangzhou qualifier, which we'll talk about later. But for clarity, the winner does get a direct entry into the main event. It's not a qualifier into a qualifier.
Correct.
So a lot on the line.
Yeah, and that's coming up this Thursday, Friday. As I said, guys, we'll mention that more after the stream. We'll actually hang around for a couple of questions if you guys want to check that out. Oh man.
Speaking of questions, the cow got through again. And while unfortunately Slave did not have the most success the previous game, I still think leaving Alistair out there, it sends a strong statement of intent. They're not worried about the cow pastry.
No, they're not. And Slave will possibly be bringing him into battle yet again. I guess we can hope that if he does play Jungle Alley, that he plays it a little bit better. Not that he plays it better necessarily, that it works out better, because he just couldn't quite find the opportunity.
But remember, they're not locked and loaded on the jungle Alistair. We might be seeing support Alistair here, which is a very strong pick still.
Yeah.
They have the flexibility.
Absolutely, and I mean, Alistar's such a great first pick as well for that reason. He's very, very versatile, and we could see him in numerous locations, although sadly I don't think we'll be seeing him in mid anymore. Gone are the days of AP.
All I know is when I play League of Legends and I see, I tab open the browser and whatnot and bring it up and I see an Alistair first pick on the enemy team, my first port of call is to hell abuse it, my team captain.
For letting him through.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's a very strong pick, and we may actually not see a jungle here, because we do have a Skarner being considered here by Sequential. The names all lining up now as well. Thanks everybody in chat for letting me know that the overlays are a bit off. They should be all fine now. If they're not, let me know, as always. But yeah, we should be fine there as Corki gets picked up in there as well. So potentially Corki also in the bottom lane. That's what seems most likely, given the picks we have so far. But we shall see. We could definitely have room for Sequential to still surprise us. We're going to have Ezreal picked up as always. We've actually seen 100% Ezreal, I believe. In fact, maybe
100% Ezreal?
100% Ezreal? I think so. I'm not positive.
Was there a Sona last game?
Yes, there was, and there's going to be a Sona this game. Takichi was playing Sona last game, and he's going to play it again. So Sona Ezreal yet again for the MIS.
100% arcade Sona.
100% choke.
That's a lot of arcade Sona.
That is a lot of arcade Sona.
I still haven't gotten over how awesome it is, though.
It's very awesome. In fact, it's actually very distracting as a caster. Anyway, Cho gets picked up as well, which looks like will be being piloted into mid by Mr. Stewie, but of course we could have it shifted up as a jungle pick here as well, and looks like Yorick as well is going to be the pickup here by MIS. And the follow-up now as well, we have Orianna and not Eve as the potential pickups here. It is online only, yes. Arcade Sooner is very epic, I agree also. She's really distracting.
And so Tyus, of course, mulling over his option of playing Evelyn. It is a third place playoff, so perhaps we'll see an Evelyn sort of huge suite of buffs, but I'm going to put this out there, probably not going to be an Evelyn.
Tyus does this.
I challenge you, Tyus.
I'm
calling you out on stream.
Tyus does this every single game.
I shouldn't do this. He's he's pretty good at responding to these
He is
callouts.
prone to doing it. I mean, right now he's pretty much considering whether to.
Oh, maybe he'll just go for something
I was
standard
gonna
like
say, I was
Rammus.
gonna say whether to troll or pick. It looks like the decision was between. Oh, there's Renekton. As long as that's not his trademark AP Renekton, I think we're in for quite a game. But it's Renekton and Orianna as the last picks there for Sequential. And now, of course, fifth pick with a jungler notably absent, arguably, here for MIS. We could have
Potential
Cho
for a Cho'Gath jungle. They're not looked into having AP Cho.
very much so, but Amumu
But
is the potential selection there.
probably going to be in the jungle. Going to put this out there. Big calls, big calls.
Magic Lizard, I wish I was joking. Tice has actually played AP Renekton in tournaments. In a tournament.
It's fine once you get the Lich Bane, so about 12k in, you're okay.
Yes. But yes, no. Well, I really hope that doesn't happen. And I expect it not to, but he has done it before. And this is kind of what we mean when we were talking about the Eve pick there. Tice is the kind of man that would do it. So, thankfully, no, not this game. We're going to have Renekton instead, and I think at this point it's more than likely going to be a movie getting
I'm
here.
kind of surprised we did not see the newest terror of solo queue this tournament, Pastry. And I know you've been a little bit out of the loop, but the AP Rengar not on display this tournament.
Is that seriously the newest terror of solo queue?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, basically he has a 1-to-1 AP ratio AoE ability that he can cast twice instantly. So you just show up next to someone, DFG, and press it twice and they die. It's very funny. It's like Scion, but with invisibility and a dash. It's pretty silly. I'm surprised we didn't see it.
I mean, we've not seen Rengar at all in the picks or
Well,
bans.
he's not very good at not being AP. Like, if you play him how he's supposed to be, he's a little bit terrible. But AP Rengar, very funny.
All right, I believe you, and I'm sad not to have seen it. Could have been right up there with the AP Eve mid. Sadly, none of that either. Regardless, these are your comments for this game, and I mentioned in chat that Sequential's team looks good. Who do you like, Smithy? Just in the draft here.
I see a lot of Monkey and Tree. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. A lot of MIS Consulting's picks here play to their strengths. We've seen these people play these champions. Mr. Sui, very adept at AP Cho'Gath. Koen has been playing a lot of Amumu this tournament. You noted that Takeshi's been on Sona duty, and Trollofeed's played Ezreal. So I think that they've picked their strongest champs, and they're locked and loaded here. But that doesn't take anything away from Sequential. I think a lot will be told about bot lane because we haven't seen Alistair lanes versus traditional like healing supports in a long time. It's been a long while since we've seen an Alistair versus Sona lane. Alistair can crush Sona. It's sort of like Blitzcrank, except a lot more offensiveness required because he doesn't have the pull. But I think bot lane will tell us a lot about the tail, but a lot of CC, some damage on the Sequential side. It's finally poised, but I like MIS Consulting.
Yeah, I mean, I think mentioned in the chat as well. They seem to be kind of all in on most of the damage from Ezreal. I mean, Cho has a great amount of burst with his ultimate, obviously, which is just does silly things. And but AP Cho has definitely picked more, I think, for his CC than anything else. And other than that, I mean, they kind of even with the Yorick pick in there as well. I think they're kind of hoping that Ezreal does well, gets farm, or even gets fed ideally, and then is able to do a lot of damage from that. Ezreal's a great carry to protect, in my opinion, as long as you have enough CC to kind of continue the team fight as it moves actively. That's what the word I'm looking for. And there's a lot of mobility potential here as well, and a lot of good disruption as well from the MIS side. So team fights could be very interesting for the MIS guys. I feel like Sequential's a little bit more straightforward. Just kind of go in with Skarner, get somebody, throw Renekton in there, Orianna ultimate, and just kind of go. And use outside appeal for your support, your carry, sorry, as always, and then go from there. The laning phase to me is gonna say a lot about this game, I think, and I think Slave's performance on Skarner as well is gonna be something interesting, just because
I think Delshun's rune page is pretty interesting against Renekton.
All right, it's the Yorick, the presumed top lane here for MIS. Let's see what he's running on his runes. Am I ready to be surprised? Oh wow. That's a lot of armor.
And kind of one of the downsides of running a Renekton, why you don't see him, even though he's a lane bully, he is hard countered by armor. His only magic damage is from his ultimate. So if you run a full armor page and start cloth 5, or you can even start boots with 32 armor and take some defensive masteries. Renekton, is still a bully, but it's much harder to bully when you're not taking much damage.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting to still see both Corki and Ezreal in the game as well, by the way, even though they have received recent nerfs as well. I mean, they're still very, very strong. I think the nerfs are in the right direction for those particular carries, but I don't think the mobility and the burst that they can bring to any lane and any team fight as well just is still clearly very good, and I think we'll probably be seeing them get looked at again. In
I think the
patches.
big difference to Corki, and especially, is the fact that with the 6-second cooldown increase, flat cooldown increase on his Valkyrie, it's kind of, you need to be cleverer with the use of it. You can't Valkyrie in offensively and then hope to Valkyrie out, 18 seconds later. It just adds a bit more skill cap to a champion that kind of does everything. He has AoE, he has an auto attack enhancer, he has everything except a attack speed steroid. So when you're as safe as you are with Corki, you should have some trade-offs, and that's what they've tried to done with the Valkyrie. And whether that's enough, we'll have to see.
Yeah. Anyway, we're loading into the game now. So this is our final game for the day as well, guys. So hope you've had as much fun as we had bringing you this. It's ESL Australia's first ever Go4LoL competition, sponsored by MWave as well. And it's been an absolutely awesome day of League of Legends as well. And yeah, I guess this is
For
our
clarity, it is a best of one for third place. We will not see a best of three finals take place due to a forfeit from My Little Yordles.
Yes, they unfortunately had to go do the Father's Day commitment. And just to reiterate again, Happy Father's Day to all the fathers watching. Don't know how many of them are out there, but certainly if you're a son, wish your father Happy Father's Day as well if you haven't already. So I guess we could talk about, I did mention the landing phase for me is going to be interesting between these two teams, because in terms of team comps, I'm not quite sure where they're going. I think we talked a bit about Renekton versus Yorick already, and of course how Delusion is kind of preparing with his rune page there. What do you think of mid lane, Cho up against Ori? They both seem like fairly poor lanes, to be perfectly honest.
they're both people who let the enemy champion, not even necessarily AP, but champion farm. So I think they're just going to be all in on the farming.
Okay, and last but not least, I guess bottom lane, more farming as well, or I think we have a little bit more
As I
kill
said, I
potential
think
down bottom.
Alistair has. I think if they do mini golems, Alistair gets a fast level 2. Like maybe even give Alistair the last hits on the golems. You can do what you see a lot in the Korean meta, which is to all in at level 2, the flash, pulverize, and then headbutt away from turret. That might be that advantage, a level 2 advantage, exists with Alistair. But once Sona gets some levels, it becomes very hard for Alistair to go all in and get kills like a Blitzcrank might against Sona. So I don't know. Early aggression, that's what I want to see bot lane from SQL.
Okay, we'll be standing there. It looks like in terms of level 1 action, we're having very, very defensive setup here. We've got actually all 5 members of MIS just sitting here in the wolf pit of all places. I guess just, making sure, warding up their blue, making sure nobody gets in there. And they've got very defensive spread out here as well from Sequential.
They see the Alistair pick and they assume that an invade is likely.
And they've decided they don't want Skarner's blue to get invaded, so very defensive setup here from both teams. I mean, it is a best of one. They are still playing for something relevant. The points do go towards whether or not you qualify for the Go4LoL monthly finals as well. So there's definitely something on the line here, despite it being, again, the third place matchup. But I think, maybe they're tired. They're just, I don't want to level 1. It's too much effort. Let's just play a normal game. Oh, but we are going to have Tice actually hiding in this bush. That took me a while to figure out as well. I was like, oh, there's 2 people in this bush. That's interesting. But now there are 3, as Alistair comes in here as well. What do you make of this? This smells very sequential.
This smells shenanigans-y. Wow, we both said shenanigans. That's embarrassing.
That's great.
I think they are being fun. We'll see. I mean, remember, they do have Alistair, so the CC potential. Oh, wow. Yorick's going to walk in and be real sad.
He's going to be very, very sad. And Slavelord's actually doing his blue on his own as well. I'm going to stay here, though. I think Delusions could be in. Oh, yeah, he's dead. Yeah, goodbye. There's the pulverize, and there's the damage coming out as well. Exhaust will be in there as well, and that's first blood to Renekton. So the gamble pays off there for Sequential, and they run away with
and
first
Slave
blood.
of Lord gets blue buff, then goes and solos top, as you do.
Yeah. Takes a lot of damage out of it as well. Someone has to collect the experience. Clearly,
Exactly. It all seems standard to me, Pastry.
I see. Maybe they'll jungle Renekton. That'll be the true meta game.
It's not very good until you get Wriggles.
No, it's not. But hey, maybe some early levels here for Skarner. Yorick's got to be feeling pretty mad about that as well, by the way.
At least he kept his flash. The flash in Vayne could have happened there. You could be forgiven for walking casually up to your lane as a 1v2 and then getting instantly pulverized killed.
And Slave is actually sticking around here as well. He's level 2, doing a ton of damage to Sona, but it's taking a little bit too much himself. Troll of Feed will come in. There's the Ignite, and now Tice looking for a damage. Oh my goodness, the Ruthless Predator does so much damage out of Troll of Feed, but the Exhaust will come out. I think Tice might actually die here, and there's Essence Flux, Archangel from Ezreal. There is the kill there, and Slaver Lord's dead too. You've got to be kidding me. And there's a double kill for Ezreal.
And blue buff.
And blue buff. After all that hard work that Tice put in down in bottom lane. to get their
Oh
first
dear.
blood. I feel like they just undid a lot of what they set up there in bot.
I think that would be putting it lightly.
That's how I do it. I put it lightly. Anyway, guys, just to refresh, it's just Sequential vs MiS. We've had already 3 kills in 3.5 minutes, so apologies if we haven't quite gone through the lineups yet, but just to catch you up, Zerk V2 is going to be down AD carry here for Sequential. Equinox, his support, is playing on Alistar. In the mid, Swiper going to be playing on Orianna as Coena, the jungler for MiS, will come in as well. Mr. Stewie playing AB Dragoth mid. There's a great bandage. The follow-up is there as well, but a great flash from Ori to dodge the rupture by flashing left instead of, I guess, straight backwards. You probably still wouldn't have died, but a nice attempt there to make sure you're well out of the way of any Cho'Gath follow-up there. And yeah, Orianna will get out of that one, but it'll cost her a flash. And again, a nice sniper
This
bandage
top
from
lane
Coena.
is a real big problem,
I agree.
to put it lightly.
And we were talking about 1v2 lanes and how, I mean, it seems like the interesting thing is a lot of the champions that are good bullies in top lane against other top laners just suffer horribly against 1v2 lanes.
And Renekton would be one of the worst.
Yes, I agree. He has very little in the way of 1v2 situations, and
Well, he's melee. He's completely melee.
yes. And, I mean, especially against a poke-heavy bottom lane, or I guess top lane in this situation. Poke-heavy duo lane.
With blue buff.
In Ezreal Sona. With blue buff. Let's not forget that Ezreal not only has 2 kills, but also has blue buff. Yeah, he's having trouble. And this tower is gone. At the 5 minutes.
One thing I want to compliment Trollofeed here. He is maxing Q second, and you know it wasn't long ago that you wouldn't think you would just max W second. But in a 1v2 lane, he just wants to poke as much as possible. And Mystic Shot has a lower cooldown. Its mana cost has been reduced. I think in this situation where you just want to poke, Qmax is optimal.
It also has the subtle effect of making your passive stacks go up faster, which would increase your attack speed if
Good
you're trying to
point.
push.
And it reduces CDR and other abilities.
Yeah, absolutely. So speaking of push, we're going to have the same thing here. This is, I think, what we're expecting when both teams have a 1v2 lane. You expect bottom lane to push fairly hard. And Zerk and Equinox are trying to do that here. Delusions, again, Yorick, probably one of the best in comparison. One of the best 1v2 laners. And he might take a bit too much damage here in his tower. Take a bit of damage himself, but he's actually pretty happy right now. CSing fairly well. And just, you know, trying to keep that tower from going down for as long as possible. We are going to have the rotation here. So Trollofeed, whose blue buff just wears off now as well. He's got Phage, by the way, at 5.5 minutes into this game.
He probably has gold left over.
I'm sure.
Yeah, he's got 200 gold.
Just casually.
When you get a double kill and take a turret, you should have plenty of gold.
This is very, very clever. So I'd actually like this more if Stewie was level 6.
Interesting to see that they are warded though.
Yeah, I mean,
But what can the SQL do? Nothing.
yeah, I mean, the Renekton still top is fairly useless. Bot was, I think, recalled, and they knew that as well. And there's a very, very fast dragon at 6 minutes and 14 seconds.
Compared to the 12 to 14 minutes we've seen commonly today, it is a fast dragon.
Yeah, we normally talk about dragon used to be around 10 to 12 minutes. It's actually been pushed back anywhere between 14 and 18, just in terms of how people are approaching dragon fights. That is the complete opposite of what we've been looking at.
Yeah.
Arguably, you know, a third of the time we normally see a dragon do it. Again, I would have liked it more if Cho'Gath was level 6, just for that feast in there as well. But hey, the play worked out regardless, and looking really, really good right now for MiS, who, I must say, have been playing absolutely fantastically all day. They put up one hell of a fight against Immunity, and Sequential, especially at this point, have their work cut out for them, despite a very fancy first blood at level 1.
Yes. And then, unfortunately, a double kill at level 2.
Yes, which was not part of the plan, I don't think.
No.
Anyway, regardless, we have settled into our normal duo lanes at bottom. At least for now, we could have more lane swaps. I believe the lane swap count of the day is highest at 2, if I remember correctly. But we've had 1 this game. We have the potential to have more. They could break the record if they so desire. We'll see exactly how these guys want to line up. Do you think Ezreal switches to maxing, or what he maxes normally? Because obviously Essence Flux is ideal in these 80 carry versus 80 carry battles when you have dual lanes. Or do you think he just sticks with
definitely ideal, but I mean, Corki deals with attack speed reduction better than any other AD carry, so he kind of has the option. He's fine to just pick up Q, and also Q is better for harassing a melee support like Alistar.
Yep.
If he feels like he has lane dominance, there's no problem with maxing Q first.
And the chat as well. The Sona skin's really awesome. And I immediately have to go buy it. Actually, Coena was sneaking in there on a movement as well, but I think decided against it. If he'd had his ultimate, it would have been a much better proposition for him, I think.
They're going to run this lane. They have a melee support in Alistar who recognizes the fact that this Ezreal is very strong. And to try any sort of play here without a gank will be suicide.
Yeah.
So So Takeshi is just free to stand in front of the creeps in full XP zone.
Yeah, which is exactly what he's doing, and the Sona poke is strong, and as your Sona, definitely one of the strongest poking lanes in bottom lane, and I think the Alistar pick hurting them a lot here in this situation. And I try to remember, they did first pick Alistar, so I mean, they didn't know necessarily that Alistar was going to be a support.
Well, they didn't
and
know
not a
that
jungler.
they give first blood and then Ezreal will get a double kill and blue buff. Like, I believe too many crazy things have happened here to make a real
Yeah, all things being equal, kind of goes out the
informed
window.
decision about the Alistar pick.
That's fair. Other than that, Tice actually isn't having the worst of times here up against Yorick, who does have a fearless stand up for himself as well. Tice continuing to play aggressively as he is wont to do, and has double longsword plus a Doran's blade there as well. Damage actually done in bottom. Equinox in a bit of trouble. There's True Chop Rage going to go wide though. Great play there from Equinox to get out of the way, but it's not enough there as Trollofeet is going to pick up the last hit there and get himself a kill. So 3-1 now in favour of
Killing
MiS.
spree on Ezreal at 9 minutes.
And that is bad news, shall we say.
Yes.
Amumu is
Suboptimal.
suboptimal, indeed. Amumu is level 6 now as well, so his ultimate is now in play. Or it can come into play, I should say. Looks like Stewie actually looking for a red buff there. Just check out the jungle. Nice work there, actually. I don't know if you actually clear the marker by doing that, but he'll know if red buff is there or not by rupturing behind it there. Doesn't cost him much as well.
They changed the way that all worked around the time CV was originally nerfed, because it used to be if you CV'd red buff, you wouldn't get the skull or whatever you want to call it, marker. Whereas now you do. So I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it does reveal it now.
Okay, so subtle play there from Stewie, but a good one. And they're just going to continue farming at this point. Abyssal Scepter almost finished up on show as well. It's done a very good job farming, actually. 70 to 81, so lots and lots of CS being picked up here in mid. Renekton's actually rotated his way down to mid as well. There's a rough structure coming as well. Kueno wants to find the follow-up, but can't find the line for a bandage. Actually finds Tice. It's like, oh, what's up? And Crescendo here is available for Sona as well. Not going to get there. Rush will follow up. There's the bandage. No, don't want to land it.
That was awkward.
Commander doesn't pull the trigger. There's Slave, actually. Great impale into Takeshi. And a good ult there as well. But Mumu follows up with a great ultimate as well. Tice will go down. Stu will pick up the kill onto Renekton. Slave now in a lot of trouble. And the teleport down for Delusions will give him a kill there in the end as well. So that was a really weird set of circumstances.
That was all really weird.
This game's all really weird.
Yeah. Because, I mean, Renekton exploded. And this is Renekton we're talking about. And he activated his ultimate. So he had 300 bonus health, but that was strange.
Yeah, great point from Zeeberg as well. The rupture does also give vision, so even if it wouldn't normally, it definitely would in that situation. So good point there. I forgot it gave vision. Thanks, bro. Anyway, now that everything's
as Ezreal continues to wail on the helpless cow.
Yeah, the cow is not having a very good time up against Ezreal, who now is a Sheen, by the way, just to go full on poke mode in this lane.
Are we going to see the sub? I wonder how fast he can get the Trinity Force. How much gold does he have? Let's check out. Oh, he's less than $1,000 away from Trinity Force.
Yeah, as we've talked about already, it's the most expensive item in the game as well. We did see a 20-minute Trinity Force. We'll see if Trollofeet can break the record that Habuska set on his hack room.
He can get a 14-minute here if he goes real all in and gets one more kill.
And I would expect nothing less. I'm still very confused at what happened.
Oh no, he might go buy like Zerka Greaves or something and ruin this amazing outlay of gold.
How much gold? He did it, didn't he? He did.
He's just not a beast.
Hey, he might still get it. We'll see. 16 minutes. Maybe the guys in chat can let us know. When do you think he'll get 24? So play a little game.
I believe he'll get at the 18-minute mark.
Okay, there you are. Papa has said 18. I don't think we should start taking bets on items in game. Although there'll be a very interesting betting system.
You never take any of my bets, Pastry.
That's because I'm always wrong.
That's a good point. At least you know your limits.
Anyway, Dragon will be coming up very soon, by the way. In fact, in 4 seconds.
There's a lot of bad guys down bot, and Corner's going to be revealed, yeah.
Yep, Trollofeet, they're taking a little bit of damage. The Pulverize will hit there as well. But yeah, they have spotted a Mumi. There's lots of pink wards, actually. Takeshi doing a nice job, as always, with the pink wards. And now that Tropheast is up and ready to go, as well as Abyssal Scepter, that's what I'm trying to say. We could see a very early force on this second
such an
dragon.
early Abyssal Scepter, but the reality is, you know, someone like Corki, he's going to have 22 magic resist right now, and all the people, you know, they don't have many, there's no magic resist items completed yet, as you'd expect at the 12-minute mark, but so reducing 20 takes it much closer to true damage for everyone involved.
Yep, and I think most importantly, Amumu. And Amumu and Sona, in fact, deal more than enough magic damage, so there's going to be a lot of pain.
Yes, and Amumu reduces as well, remember, so what's it at the moment? Is it like 15 for Amumu? Where's Amumu gone? Passive. Oh wow, Amumu already reduces by 25, so that's 45 shred on everything that Amumu auto attacks.
Yeah. Big damages.
That's true damage on Corki.
Who is the ideal target. Anyway, we are having a standoff for Dragon right now. Looks like the response has come this time for Sequential, so they'll not be giving this one up like they did the last one. But again,
they need to. They can't afford the team fight here.
That's true,
They
but
will 100% lose a team fight. But yes, they can't just leave it.
yeah, and they'll try and pick them off. I mean, if they get a pick here, that obviously goes a long way towards putting them back into the game. There's actually a nice move there from Swiper, putting the ball there in the pit, giving them vision, but Dragon is now on the way, and I think Feast plus Smite's going to be more than enough to secure this before they come in. And we'll see. There is the smite from Koena. Nice Rupture as well. Just going to disrupt them a bit. They are going to go in as well. I think Equinox kind of gets taken up. There's True Chop Barrage coming in as well. Koena can't quite land the bandage. There's a flash ultimate though. Picks up a few people there, and Slave gets taken out immediately there by Delusions. Equinox now in a lot of trouble, and the rest of them are coming in. Troll Feed gets, I think, at least one kill there, and now more coming out as well. Swiper and Zerk trying to get away from this one. Oriana may live. Beautiful sniper bandage there though, and Koena may die out of this one as well. He will. It's going to be close there. Yorick ult as well, just for an Amumu
There
goose.
is the 14-minute ace.
And presumably
no
the Trinity
one's
Force.
even low health. Well, the Cho'Gath kind of.
Well, Amumu died.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh,
he
yeah.
got Yorick ult and he got killed.
Oh.
But yeah, he's gonna have that Trinity at 15 minutes now. So you were close in your initial guess.
Oh wow, he has 2k gold. Handy.
He did just get a triple kill, to be fair.
As you do.
As you do. He's currently sitting at 6-0-2.
And for posterity, he is maxing his W second for all those interested viewers.
I am very interested. Thank you for telling me.
Get a Vamp Scepter too, be a beast. There it is.
And there we are. Trinity Force plus Vamp Scepter, as he called it. Just as you like it. Oh, Tyre Saber,
It's
the
pretty
Ruthless
locked and
Predator.
loaded at the 15-minute mark.
Flash out there from Delusions to get away from the killing mid. I believe Impale's off cooldown. On cooldown, sorry, it is. And now a pause. Just to add more strangeness to this game. We now have a pause. So what do you think of? So what do you think of 602 and 602 Ezreal with the Trinity Force? At the 15-minute mark?
I think 602 Ezreal's pretty strong. I believe he'll be stronger than 012 Corki. That's my big call for the game.
That is a fairly big call. I like Phage here from Corki, to be fair. I think that's a smart move here, and it looks like he's going to be building towards, I think, Infinity Edge after this as well. So
I like Phage and not Phage Endurance Blades. I think that's too overkill.
yeah, I think so too. I think that's a good observation, and you made it previously as well when we saw Ezreal go double Durance Fade. Is that you usually get one or the other, not both. And I think Zerk's decision here makes sense. But I mean, look at that gold difference: 10-2, 2-0 in terms of turrets. We've got what? Many gold differences.
It's 15 minutes and Ezreal has boots to Triforce and Vamp Scepter. I think that's enough of a summary of what's going wrong in this game.
Don't even need to know a gold difference. You're just like, yeah, this is what's happening. By the way, what is going on in terms of people disconnecting or etc. etc.?
Just a doorbell rang apparently.
Okay.
So fairly low on the reasons to pause, but a
hey.
reality nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be away from your keyboard and accidentally die. That's certainly the case. Well, we should be back very shortly. I'm assuming someone can. I'm hoping the door isn't very far away.
It's
from
coming
where
back
it's
very
supposed to
shortly.
be. Okay, good times. And Secret Agent Sona is on the scoreboard as well. 0-10, which is actually she's been a part of every single kill.
That's quite good play there then.
That's fairly good play, to say the least. And we are going to have the unpause as well. I think Tyson's in a bit of trouble right now. Brutalizer, Heart of Gold, Doran's Blade. It's not the worst, but he clearly didn't get the lane he wanted.
You can't compare everyone's items to Ezreal's pastry.
Well, no, I'm not going to. But just in general, I think Yorick never really felt threatened in a lane where normally he would be. And I think a lot of that has to do with the early decision from MiS for them in terms of their laning. I mean, they made a really smart choice to put their 1v2 lane up in top. And I think
I also want to compliment Mr. Stewie here because the rush of the Abyssal with the synergy it has with Amumu is really good play. Like that's why I was so confident in saying they will lose a fight if they take one, because it's just like if you have a really, really early Aegis and force a fight, the stats difference, barring some sort of incredible misplay or incredible play, cannot be denied.
Nice
Wow.
flash of power from Slave of Lord. Beautiful ult from Oriana, and Troller Feed goes down. The tower still up as well. Koena tanking it but picks it up as well, but I think he's going to pay for it with his life, and he will. So speaking of great play, there's a really nice one there, and Tyre picks up a much-needed double kill in there as well. So kind of
a window back into the game suddenly extends.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sequential, they're doing what they can. They are holding on, and Sequential are not a team known for giving up easily. That much I will give them. And the power of Orianna still stands, and this is kind of what we were talking about in champs like this. We were loading in as well. Mid-tower, I think, is going to go down here as well. Ty's getting so aggressive here onto Delusions. That's a great pulverize in there as well. I think they're going to be able to pick it up. He ults himself as well, just try and, I guess, block a bit of the targeting there, but Tice will get out of that one with an Aura Shield on there, and I believe Orianna picks up credit for that kill with 4 assists going to her team. So Slave is in a lot of trouble here. I think he's going to go down. Great clutch Orianna Shield there, but it's not quite enough there as Delusions pick up credit for that kill, despite being dead, which is always fun to watch Yorick do. And there's a true shot brought out, just for good measure, but can't quite find Tice, which I assume was his intended target. So lots of back and forth.
Yeah, but I mean, look, shutting down Ezreal's kill streak put a lot of gold on Tice there, the person you identified as being behind. So let's see what he does with it.
Yeah, I mean, this is weird because now we've had push into counter, push into counter push, I guess. So I believe MIS are going to be able to pick up this turret for themselves as well, and this game is just bizarre. From the first blood, I feel like I don't know what's going on. But
this is just the reality of third place playoffs, Pastry. We don't do enough of them, clearly.
Clearly, we're missing
It's where
out.
all the hot strats come out of.
Missing out all the excitement. Chalice of Harmony up now for Swiper as well, and building up towards any number of items. I'm guessing Rylai's, not Void Stuff, even though both Blasting One and Amp 10 will build into both those items. I expect Rylai's and Orianna, very popular item, great item on her as well. Just does a lot for you, and it's nice to see the shift kind of away from the pure Deathcap builds that we see every now and then. Speaking of Deathcap, need to see that Drod is up now for Stewie, which could build into either Zonies or Deathcap, or he could just have it for the early AP, you know, whatever he wants to do. We'll see where he wants to go with that build. Not a very tanky Cho'Gath. We normally see Doran's Ring sometimes, because he does have a fairly low mana pool. He does like the regen. We'll see. But the Abyssal Scepter, as we pointed out, has been really, really great for them early on.
Scales fantastically well with AP. I believe, is Rupture a 1-to-1 scaling? Let's have a look. It is. So, yeah, the damage output's not questioned with the Nearly Large Rod and the Abyssal Scepter. He's rocking.
Yeah, it's almost like he feels like all he has to do is... I mean, he's got a lot of health as well. The Feast gives him a lot.
He just has
lot
to
of
hit
bonus
skill
health.
shots.
Yeah, I mean, and just kind of get into the middle of the team and just soak up some damage. You know, it's not like traditional APs where you're doing... You know, you really need to get your burst on a key target. And survive longer to kind of keep peeling for your team, which he would obviously love to do. And it's not like this kind of new school of APs, like Orianna's a great example actually, as Delusion's getting chased down here by Renekton with an Orianna ball on top of him. But these, you know, more sustained damage APs, when Cassiopeia was popular, when Karthus was still very popular, even Orianna as well, they need to kite back and forth and try and do as much damage. This is almost back to an assassin type AP, where it's like, I'm going to get in, do the CC, and eat somebody important. And then if I die, fine. I soak up plenty of damage with my ultimate. With my face stacks, giving me lots of bonus health.
Yeah,
so.
it's true. The free health, in addition to the magic resist from the Abyssal he's chosen to pick, means he's very tanky against almost everyone, but perhaps Tice, who does purely physical damage.
And more doorbells have to be answered.
Big lag.
Big lag. From who?
It's funny. Both the MIS players talked about lag, and then Slave of Lord responded, "How many doors do you guys have?" Instantly. I thought that was very funny. So shout out to Slave of Lord.
Yeah.
Long overdue shout out to Slave of Lord.
I agree. Keeping it fun, as always. So Skarner, actually speaking of Slave, Skarner is now up with 2 GP10s and Merc Treads, so not too bad for him. He's been doing okay in the jungle. Where else are we for items? Talked about Ori, talked about Koki, talked about Tice. He's now Zerk's actually going shopping now, so he may have enough for Infinity Edge. Not quite, but he does have enough for a BF sword, the best friend sword. The best friend of all the people, especially the AD carries. He's going to be pretty happy with that. Going to do a little bit more damage come teamfight time, but of course Ezreal, I think we've harped on about more than enough this game, is still doing very, very
He's doing
bad
pretty
things.
good, you know, with the Triforce.
He's doing bad things to people. And he does have almost a BF sword up as well. Got 1450.
He will have one after they get this dragon.
Assuming they get it, yeah. And I mean, if you're Sequential, do you want to fight in this spot?
Nope.
Nope.
But do you have to?
You
It's hard
might.
to say.
I mean, again, Feastance might make a very, very good combo when you try and take out neutral buffs. And there's yet another dragon, the 3rd in a row, in fact. Within 20 minutes, I might add, which is very, very impressive.
And you know, if you were in the Sequential mumble vent team speak there, it'll be a case of they're doing dragon, and there'd just be a disagreement as to what to do about it. Because engaging, you know you're behind, you're probably going to suffer to an AoE comp. Not engaging, they get more ahead. So, what's the correct answer? Someone smarter than me probably knows.
Yeah, steal it without losing anybody.
Yeah, you know, that's just easy. You just double dash. You just Renekton can just dash over, Q it, and then dash back over.
Trying to
Very
beat out
well.
Feast and Smite.
Yeah, it's just, you know, it's easy. I should have said that. I miscalculated. Sorry.
That's alright. I understand. Actually, a nice job there from Stu actually fishing for the blue buff. He knows it's up too. I think he might be waiting to eat somebody. Which is not something I get to see very often, but certainly in the case of Cho'Gath I do. He's still rupturing over it. Feral Scream.
Oh, you know,
coming there as well.
six stack Cho'Gath is Not someone you want to meet in the tall brush.
Really interesting as well. He's actually given up on blue, sadly. He could have taken it in that window, but I don't think he had sufficient vision. However, we are going to have now an invader on the blue buff, and they
too
realize
late.
it's gone now. Just a little bit too late there as well. Would have been a nice catch. I'm not quite sure what Joe was doing there, but I guess he just wanted to make sure it was up. Okay, it's up. Good. I'll leave it there.
They had the timer at least.
That's true. They definitely had it down pat. Sona with oracles as well, by the way, doing great things for MIS at this stage in the game. There's no oracles been bought, I think, at all on the sequential side, and there's just so much map control given as a result here to MIS. And hey, Sona with all those assists, she's got Shirelia's up as well. Jeez.
And it's worth noting if you tab over to the gold difference, the support usually gives you a great window. And as you point out, the support been involved in all 11 kills, and is 2,600 gold up on her lane opponent, the Alistair.
Yeah, and it it sounds silly, but when a support has gold, that's usually a good thing. And Shirelia's Reverie is a great example of that. Early Shirelia's early oracles, just something you wouldn't normally have in the situation if you didn't have that many assists and have been doing that well. So really nice job there from Takeshi on Sona, who has been playing fantastically as well all tournament on the very same champion. He has been on the Sona duty. He's been assigned to Gosu, the same fate as Gosu Pepper. He hasn't quite chaos enough to be.
Yeah, but I mean,
honest.
can you imagine how pumped Gosu Pepper is when he sees how awesome this skin is?
He is very pumped.
He was already going to play Sona every game anyway.
I think they made it just for him. I feel like that
I
was
think
the marketing
he uses
strategy.
whatever the angelic one is. I forget.
Oh yeah, MWave Sona.
MWave Sona. I think he uses that one.
Okay. Anyway, nice push here down from MAS. We've actually had a.
Do you reckon he has any riot points playing on Moscow 5? They do okay in tournaments, right?
They win sometimes.
Sometimes they win every time.
They do win every time. With some fairly amazing Sona stats. This game has actually gone into kind of an interesting lull. There's just mainly been MIS just taking map control.
Unfortunately, I mean, it's what are Sequential gonna do apart from get an amazing Skarner on Ezreal under turret again?
I mean you're
That'd
right.
be really nice.
That's what has to happen. But
That'd be pretty good. That's all they need to do. No problem.
no, you're right in the fact that Sequential is forced to defend here, and MIS are just being very patient with the way they approach this game. They don't. It's a best of one still. They don't want to throw it away by playing recklessly or being out of position, and they're just taking their time, pushing down this tower very very slowly. Even Sony getting in there to do a bit of the tower damage. Poke coming out from Ezreal here as well, and there is no time limit you have to win in this tournament or in League of Legends. So you take as much time as you need. I think that might be bad in long term if it goes very very late and if both teams have equal farm. I'm not quite sure how MIS's team stacks up, but at this point they're not willing to throw away any of their advantage. It's actually quite early into this game still. 23 minutes is about when we expect games to kind of start heating up, and this one's already had quite a lot of action happen in it. And of course Ezreal is very very farmed, and I believe that's probably what they were waiting for, Ezreal to go back and buy something else, although he doesn't have enough for a pickaxe. Oh, Bloodthirster.
The only thing I can say about late game is that the easiest champion to itemize against is Renekton because he does basically purely physical damage. So you can be happy late game that if you buy armor, you'll be all set against Renekton.
Yeah, and it seems like they were waiting for Bloodthirster, which is I think, as you like to say, Smithy, basically the poke warrior's item build. Trinity Force Bloodthirster.
I mean, his mystic shots are going to be hurting.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him actually get blue buff as well, because I don't think Cho really needs it. Ezreal's a fairly good candidate, especially with this build. And I guess now that they've realized there's a lot of sieging going on, they're just gonna up their poke damage, and I assume slowly push and try and get some turret damage on here with all that damage Ezreal will be doing with his poke as well. I mean, if they find initiation, they'll take it. Shirelia's Reverie and Mumu will make sure of that.
Just doesn't necessarily make for the most exciting watching.
No, I mean, there's also something to be said about playing too carefully. So this could come.
They should just fade an objective. I mean, they have a good Baron taking team with Amumu and Cho'Gath, let alone an AD carry who's fed.
They are going to pick up Dragon here, so it should be coming up in about just under a minute, about 45 seconds or so should be.
Because realistically, I mean, Sequential can't do anything against them at any stage apart from when they're forced to. That's the only real time when it's up. As you can see now, look, they're chilling in mid. Like there's nothing they can do. They're basically fighting over taking wolves.
Yeah. And
which is, a sad state to be in.
Yes. Splitting the experience of wolves between 4 people. Not much fun. We are going to see Dragon though. I don't think Sequential are going to do anything like a very heroic Baron. Although that would be heroic. I guess that was the word I used, so that would make sense. bit of a standoff here at this point. Again, there is the danger of playing too carefully can definitely come to hurt you. And like most games, League of Legends is a game where being proactive rewards you. Obviously, in this case, Sequential can't really afford to because they'll lose. But we are going to see a Dragon now picked up by MIS. I assume after this, they'll either go for an objective like Baron or more towers, but we'll have to see. But
look, it's worth noting that Corki picked up his Infinity Edge. That's a very big power jump for Corki, who now has Phage, Zerkers, and Infinity Edge. Left unchecked, very strong, potent combo.
Yep, absolutely. And I am waiting. I mean, it's awkward for me to say this is a castle. I am sort of waiting for something to happen. I mean, there's clearly a lot that's going on in this game. It's interesting, the kind of what's happened and how Sequential reacting. And I think they're playing it how they need to be. Nice pick up there from the blue as well by swiping to make sure to secure that for Ori.
The reality is they will win this game if they appropriately tank Baron and then kill Sequential.
Yes, and I think they're up to that point in their game.
The window for that going wrong is very small because of how strong they are right now.
That's true.
Barring Ezreal randomly suiciding.
Yep. Ezreal's going to get red buff, Son is going to go back and get wards. Looks like Amumi's going to go ahead and pick up something. Ooh, has a lot of gold actually. And I think they've realized, we're going back and forth. They've tried to push tower. Sequential have defended nicely, to be fair. There's actually a lot of gold on a lot of their members as well that they might want to spend. But, they've got some major items up. The Bloodthirst was finished for Ezreal. Deathcap's actually on the way for Stewie, so maybe he wants to finish that first, which could prolong its potential Baron even further. But they are pushing out their lanes as well. Yorick was pushing out top. Ezreal pushed out bot as well for themselves. They are defending this mid tower as well. They haven't considered a tower, which is definitely an interesting thing to know. Oh, great bandage there from Coena. Pretty much at max range there. Entice, I think, going to be in trouble now. Randy Owens gets procced up as well. Shirelia's in there. Great ult there from Coena as well to follow up and troll off feed. It's just trying to cut as well as again. Slave Lord does impale Ezreal, but it's not quite enough. That Coena takes a lot of damage, flashes out of the way. Troll off feed picks up a kill there. Now Zerked in so much trouble. Gets picked up there as well with a great rupture.
Show combo did so much damage.
And now they're going to chase down Equinox as well. The last surviving member. There's a great rupture. Oh my goodness, that did a lot of damage. And that may be...
One AP scaling. I hear that's pretty good.
And, we sit around for 10 minutes farming, doing what we can, defending, turtling where we may.
All they needed was the sniper bandage. So Spider-Man Coena. All done.
And that is officially his new nickname, and I love it. Randy Owens is the item completed up from Amumu as well. They seem to be waiting for a few more major items, but this might be just it right here. No, they're going to run back to Baron and do that instead. Oh. Always awkward to have to go back and last hit the inhibitor, just in case the minions don't kill it for you. That would be embarrassing. Ezreal's got a big stack of gold in there as well. Oh my god, he almost has 3,000 gold. Goodness gracious me, Ezreal. What will you be buying? I guess Last Whisper. Nope, QSS. Completely wrong. QSS to finish up for Ezreal. I'm sorry, sir. The Colch...
He's not good at item predicting.
He has a pickaxe there as well. He's going to get it next, it's alright. I think QSS makes sense in this situation. The only real fear Ezreal has is getting Skarner ulted out of position. And QSS basically denies Slave of all that opportunity.
Very true.
But we are going to see the Hero Baron attempted by SQL.
I believe it's better known as the Desperation Baron.
It is very much the
this case especially.
Yes.
Even if they got Baron, they'd get aced.
Yeah, and I think Coena's like, yeah, alright, we'll see what you can do there. They're going to come in now as well. There's very low
tanky Baron here. He's taking a lot of damage. Yeah. He wants to at least get a good ult off.
This Slave goes down. Stewie picks up that kill. Troller Food picks up the one kill there. I think at this point, MIS are more than happy to just leave Baron and try and push a bit more. Oh,
Troller Food's very fast, but he's not going to go for the full-on tower dive like a beast.
No. He thought about it. He thought about it. Instead, he's actually
we all do.
He's going to push.
He's Ezreal. He was jumping like he was. He had that. Oh wait, no, he doesn't have that. He's not level 16 yet. My bad.
He will soon.
He'll start flying soon.
He will. Super Mega Man.
Super Mega Man.
And I think at this point, MIS are just kind of, they're done. This top tower and this top inhibitor is going to go down. Baron they can basically take at their leisure, which they don't even need to win. Given the advantage they have. I mean, there's 15,000 gold in the lead at 30 minutes for MIS. Oh, and there's Equinox going to try and make a play there. Comes in with the headbutt pulverized. Delusions gets caught, but he's got so much health with that Warmogs. And now Slave will get the Impale onto Stewie, but Shogun fairly tanky himself as well. True Shot Barrage comes in. I believe the Amumu ultimate's back off cooldown as well. There's actually Tice picked up the kill onto Shogun. Troller feed. Now in a lot of trouble. QSS, can he get out? No, he can't. And Alsa, of all people, picks up the kill credit and the killing spree gold as well. And Delusions is all the way down bottom lane, just being like, yeah, I needed to save this tower. He even used his teleport as well, which was a bit awkward given that they got...
When's your teleport cooldown off? Oh, 5 minutes or so.
And they could actually do Baron here. But as I said, I don't know if it's going to be enough. Cohen is ready for the smite still, by the way, as well. He's all about the ninja bandage.
He's going to steal the Baron with a bandage, is he? That'd be beastly.
That would be very strong.
They can't... See, that's the Sequential are so weak that they just can't do the Baron.
Yeah, Baron just does too much damage at this point. Raid boss Baron. Still deadly. And they are going to back off here as well. That Oracles are still on Takeshi. He's now 0018.
He still has 100% involvement.
He's the true team player.
Yep.
All he needs
You could say he's the true support.
He is the true support.
He should buy a needlessly large rod to be a beast. He's not going to, though.
Should buy Sheen.
Oh wow, the minions are having their way with the base too. I forgot they had 2 inhibs down.
Yeah, and this third tower is going to get pushed in here as well. This T2 turret in bottom is probably not long for this world. And I have a funny feeling that MIS are actually just going to try and pull off the tutorial win. Baron is very doable, but at this point it's like, why even bother? If Sequential ever go to do Baron, they lose. And you might as well just take all 3 inhibitors and basically ensure the win.
I agree.
I mean, it sounds horrible to say it, but they don't even need Baron to win in this game. And the funny thing is, it just all happened from those first 3 kills. The first 4 minutes of this game just led to a very, very strange series of events where MIS.
Well, they went all in on Tice being ahead up top, which he needed to be, especially if it was going to be 1v2. He entered lane with a Doran's Blade, but he died level 1, and that kind of undid all their good work.
Yeah, and now this bottom tower is going to go down here as well.
They have to be a little bit careful because Troll of Feet's not even on the same side of the map.
Yeah. He's just chilling. You know, he doesn't need a map. He does what he wants. And there's Stewie. Nice
I've heard that about Ezreal.
Yes. Nice Rupture as well. Just kind of cutting them back and forth. Waiting for Ezreal to come
I'm not used to
much.
Rupture's doing big damage.
Well, he does now have Revenant's death cap. He's a very scary.
As I said, it does have 1-to-1 AP ratio, so the Rupture is doing a lazy 580 damage. But again, I'm just used to it not doing any damage.
No, he's very scary. Cohen, I'm more than happy to tank this up as well. Got a fair amount of health at this point. And there's the Rupture coming up as well. I think, oh, great Orianna ult, and there's the Impale as well. Troll of Feet gets out immediately, though, and then True Chop Rider's back in there. Stewie absolutely eats Corki as well there, and picks up credit for that kill. That tower's going to go down as well. Orianna in a ton of trouble. Rupture doing lots of damage as well, but Troll of Feet, the AD carry, just doing ridiculous amounts of damage. Stewie will go down, but everybody else from Sequential pretty much has to get the hell out of dodge. Koena comes in as well, though, even flashes after them with a bandage as well to try and pick it off.
And the minions will finish the game.
And they're doing it for them. That inhibitor is going to go down. I think Troll of Feet's going to make sure he gets that one. Arcane shifts out of the way as well. Slavin will
Turbo Skarner there.
Turbo Skarner is coming in, but not going to be enough there. Oh man, Troll of Feet just doesn't even care. He's like, yeah, I'll fight you, Skarner. I will happily 1v1 you. And Slave's like, oh please, I need to get out of here. This is bad news. Koena with a great bandage there as well to secure the kill. And Troll of Feet picks up yet another one. 11, 2 and 7 in this game, chasing one more kill, trying to pad those stats. Can't quite get onto Swiper though. But I think the minions are going to finish the job that MIS.
Oh, the minions are getting distracted. Those pesky minions.
I think MIS are more than happy to have the minions do the job for them. The Troll of Feet will die though, as Tice picks up credit for that kill. Zerk with a great Valkyrie in there as well. But I think it is all for naught at this point. There is almost nothing Sequential can do to stop the onslaught of super minions that will be rampaging into their base. And it's only it's academic at this point for MIS, and a well-deserved win as well. If they lose this game, I will owe somebody a lot of money.
Is it bet time?
It might be. But
I see you wait till you're in a fairly questionable position before you start putting the money on.
I may be stacking.
Big spender this pastry.
I may be stacking the game a little bit here. And apparently they need Baroness to win. Why not? Why not get more items?
Yeah, you know. Buying items is pretty fun.
It is. It might take them a little while because I actually don't have Ezreal, but no, it seems like it's not taking that long either. Between Smite and Feast as well, it's not going to take all that much to get this down.
Will Ezreal get the Baron buff?
It's going to be close. They might leave it now. They are going to
say yes.
He will. I'm glad I didn't take that bet. And there we are. Nom nom nom. And a Smite as well to finish it off. And they'll be Baron. You know, just in case.
In case what, pastry?
If having 11 Owen towers more than 20.
In case 2 of the members DC and they try and fight 3v5?
Yes.
Okay.
That would be the. I think that
Assured. Well played.
Because the pause function isn't a thing. Hey?
I forgot about that. There's like 28 minutes left on it as well.
Correct. More buffs now for Troll or Fed. I don't know. What has he done this game? Is he trolled or fed? I assume he's trolled because he clearly hasn't fed.
Yeah, I'm going to have to guess he's trolled the enemy team. They're doing so well.
With his dazzling skills. Who knows?
His dazzling skin too.
Yes, very, very shiny. Israel hurts. He's like he's an infinity
He's
edge away.
fine right now.
He's
What a
fine.
beast.
One infinity edge away from hurting everybody. But he's going for Phantom Dancer instead. Looks like top inhibitor is respawned. Which of course means I need to take this out as well. And I mean, you know, it's been a long day. It's been a great day as well. Oh, never mind. There's initiation. Mr. Stewie in a little bit of trouble actually. Ty's going to find himself in there. Great old there from Gohena. Slave gets very, very low, and now everybody's coming to play cleanup. Troller feed finds his way in there. Tice will go down. There's Mr. Stewie running out there as well as Renekton will fall, and now Equinox gets absolutely munched on by Coena as well. Swiper kind of in a bit of trouble. They were expecting the sniper bandage. Spider-Man Coena, will he do it? He will manage to get in there, and double kill for him as well. The minions will do most of the job, but MIS will come in to finish it up. And good game, well played to MIS. They will take third place here for the MWave Go4LoL, presented by ESL Australia, and that is
backing up their tournament win with a very impressive third place here. They pushed it to immunity, the giants of Australian League legends, and won very comfortably here.
Yep. So, I mean, feels I guess like an honorary second to them. Although obviously they'll take officially third place. But yeah, another great performance, and I think back-to-back top 3 in online tournaments is a pretty impressive performance, and definitely I guess worthy of the sponsorship they've recently picked up.
Yeah, so once again, congratulations to them for that. I know they've been under their own banner for a long time, so picking up a sponsor, very exciting.
Yeah, and they'll be able to go back and be like, yeah, we're doing pretty well. I think you guys did a good job picking it up. Anyway, guys, that is it for our broadcast this evening in terms of games. So we'll be hanging around for a couple of minutes to answer any questions and do a bit of advertising here as well. But I will say goodbye for this VOD. So hello from the archive if you've been watching and catching up. Hope you've enjoyed all our coverage from today. And goodbye for most of the day from today, as we'll be wrapping up the stream fairly shortly, guys. So thanks again. It's been absolutely fantastic. My name is Pacechum. I've been joined, as always, by Papa Smithy. We make up the duo known as Papa Time, and it has been fantastic to bring these games to you guys. So stay tuned for a little bit of a Q&A if you guys want to hang around in the chat, ask us a few questions. But yeah, we'll be back next week for more Go4LoL action. Same time, same bet channel. Thanks, guys. It's been absolutely awesome.